Welcome back to the BTB Show, everybody. Today it is myself, Earl, and Omar. We're in the studio. We're talking about the Phoenix Suns. We're recording this right after they did lose a game to the Boston Celtics in TD Garden, but they were without Dillon Brooks. They were without Mark Williams. Devin Booker put it on himself to drop 40 points and get them so close to winning, but they didn't win. It goes deeper than that, though. The Suns have been playing really good basketball, I feel like all season, and they're probably, if you ask me, the most underrated team in the whole NBA. Like, they're 10 games over 500 right now. They just secured a play-in position. It's not a playoff position, but they'll be at least in the play-in. They're still in that mix to get up into the top six. They're kind of in an awkward spot where they'll either be the best play-in team by far or they'll just eke into the sixth seed, which makes a big difference because once you're the sixth seed, you're locked in. You don't got to worry. But as soon as you go into that play-in mess, anything can happen. But regardless of where they do wind up in the final standings, I think this is a solid team going to the playoffs. I don't think any of these top Western Conference teams would want to see Phoenix. Devin Booker has been having himself a season, like very quietly having an incredible season. He's averaging 25 points per game, 6 boards, 4 assists. He's been playing a lot of games, 52 games played on the year. That's good. That's what we want. He is still one of the best scorers in the NBA. I feel like we don't talk about him enough when it comes to scores anymore. We used to back when it was the Suns, I guess, were cooler and they were going to the finals. But the last couple of years, Booker's kind of fallen out of the media narrative, if you will. But he's still just as good as ever. And man, his jump shot, people don't he has to have one of the top 5 jump shots in the league. When you talk about no wasted motion, when you talk about efficient, when you talk about repeatable and smooth, Devin Booker is up there with the Kevin Durant's in terms of just smooth, beautiful looking jump shots. So he's been playing phenomenal. Dillon Brooks has had an awesome year for this team, best year of his career by far. I don't think anyone, maybe not even Dillon Brooks himself, thought he could score 20 points a game in the NBA over the course of a season. But here we are, we're living that reality. Mark Williams has been a really good pickup for this team. Colin Gillespie, breakout year for him. He is a legitimate, not just an NBA player, but he is a good starting caliber NBA player. I like his fit in the backcourt next to Devin Booker. They've done a lot of this year without Jalen Green. Now Jalen Green's back. He's gotten up to 20 games played. He's a bit of a shot chucker. We kind of knew that coming in. He could be a bit up and down, off and on offensively, but those are the kind of guys that can either win or lose your playoff series. If Jalen Green has a good 7 games in the first round, I don't think any team wants to play Phoenix. So I've been impressed with him. Kamen Malawach, their first round pick, he's starting to play minutes now. So he's taking up some center minutes, especially with Mark Williams out. He's still got glue guys like Oso Ighodaro, Royce O'Neal, Jordan Goodwin, Grayson Allen. These are all solid contributors. So I understand that they're probably not winning a championship this year or next year. They're not going to be at the forefront of these conversations, but I could see them winning a playoff series. Genuinely, I think they're going to be a tough out. I would be shocked if this team gets rolled in the first round by a 3 seed or a 2 seed. I think they're going at least 6 whoever they play against. And maybe that's a controversial take, but I truly am a believer in the Suns team to at least overexceed expectations. Personally, I think they've already overexceeded expectations. The fact that we're even talking about them this late in the season as a potential top 6 in a loaded West is an achievement for them. But Omar, I'm going to throw it over to you. How are you impressed by the Suns? Do you think this is anything, or is this really nothing more than a play-in team that may or may not win a single playoff game against the top contender?
Well, here's this. I'm impressed with the way Devin Booker has been playing. I need to give him his flowers because he's been playing at this level of basketball for, God knows, for the past at least 2 to 3 years. So I don't think Devin Booker has been a reason at all for what the Suns have been doing for the past couple of years. I actually do think what Max said was true, being repeatable and being super dependent. And I know he was talking about his jump shot, but also goes into Devin Booker. But you guys know what's also repeatable and dependable? The Suns being in the play. And it's just a testament to how much they've really failed their organization. Once we go back a couple of years ago when they were in the final with no Durant, nothing super complicated. They had Mikal Bridges, they had Cam Johnson, they had these guys that were prominent bench players that were very good. What happened? They went to the final. They did their thing and they got swept by Giannis. It is what it is. Giannis is one of those players that it's going to be hard to beat even if you are the Phoenix Suns. But then what they did in response really screwed them. That even affects them to this day, where they started to trade for Kevin Durant, and it started by letting Chris Paul go, the guy that really started that movement with the Phoenix Suns, and it just led in a super bad direction as soon as Matt Ishbia decided to play 2K with his Phoenix Sun. So that's really where the blame and the lies go into. I blame Matt Ishbia. I blame the owner for what they've been doing to him for the past couple of years. And I say that they've been doing to him, I mean they've been doing to Devin Booker. Because the fact that this man plays at this level year in, year out, and barely gets, I mean, look, he was an all-star. Yes, he is an all-star caliber player. He's barely getting in there. And it's rough to see because this is a guy who's getting in there with no problem at all.
Yep.
With no, and this is somebody who's looked at the televised series. Oh my God, this guy's on the. We should be looking at Devin Booker a lot differently, but unfortunately, because the Phoenix Suns are so bad and the Phoenix Suns don't know how to run their team, we're looking at Devin Booker like he's Jalen Brown. And that's not a bad thing, but that's just worse than what he is. Real talk. But with that, I'm going to pass it on to Earl because I'm going to start saying things I don't mean. By the way, Jalen Brunson said I love you. I didn't mean that.
All right, Earl, don't go off on Jalen Brunson, but go ahead.
Yeah, for me personally, I think I'll just, like everybody has said, Devin Booker's been playing absolutely incredible. But I think the people out there need to know exactly how incredible Devin Booker's been playing. So over his last 5 games, he's been averaging 34 points per game, 6 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and his shooting splits, he's shooting 40% from 3. And we all know Devin Booker, while he can shoot the 3-ball, he doesn't really shoot a lot of them. He's more of a mid-range guy, but obviously throughout the stretch, he's had a 40-point game twice. He had 43. He had 40 his last game versus the Celtics. Like Matt mentioned, he went toe-to-toe with the Boston Celtics, who to me are the best team in the Eastern Conference, while missing 2 of his best players on this roster. That's very impressive to me. Also in that stretch as well, he had 43 versus the Pacers. I know it's the Pacers, whatever, but man, 43 is 43, man. Devin Booker's been hooping. And I think he's one of those guys who gets forgotten about. Like he's a guy for pretty much his entire career. He's kind of been like the lone man, so he's kind of gone back to that. Before Kevin Durant and Chris Paul, there is Devin Booker dropping 60-point games on a Phoenix Suns team that had no future. And now, arguably, they're in a better spot, I feel like, than young Devin Booker. But at the same time, you just came from an era with Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, where you guys were making potential championship run that they lost. Obviously, shout out to Giannis. And I don't know. I think this team doesn't get a lot of credit. Like Max said, there's a lot of guys on this roster who are having really career years. Dillon Brooks, man, like the dude, the villain, really turned into like low-key a little hero, bro. Like I can't help. Now I'm being so serious. Like I can't help but like Dillon Brooks' story. Like he's a guy who never backs down to any NBA players. And after hearing like some of his interviews, I think it's more of a, I know it's gonna sound crazy. I think it's more of like a respect thing. Like he respects the game of basketball so much. He wants to bring out the most competition that he can out of players. Like, even when he was talking about LeBron James, like, they asked him about LeBron James. He was on a stream or something like that. And he gave respect to, like, Prime Bron. He's like, nobody in 2018 was having Prime Bron. Well, this Bron right now, I can take him any night. Like, basically, like, he'll give you your flowers, but he's going to be real. Like, if I have a chance to be competitive versus you and try to bring out the best of you, that's who he's going to do. And I don't understand why on earth the Grizzlies got rid of him. It made no sense. And even the Rockets, man, I know they have a good core over there. But, man, can you imagine this Rockets team right now with Dillon Brooks on that roster as well? They, to me, would be probably my favorites coming out the West slightly more. Because I feel like in those moments where you need a little more offensive push, he's a guy who can shoot the ball but play defense at a high level. And I don't think they have, like, no offense, like, I love him, man. He's a top defender to me, but he still struggles with shooting. So imagine having, like, a man-level guy plus Dillon Brooks out there playing defense for you. I think that could have been a great recipe for the Rockets this season. But, yeah, shout out to the Suns, man. Personally, I'm not as high on them as Max is. I don't think they're going out here and winning a round of basketball. I do think they will make it a little bit difficult. Maybe 5 or 6 games. I don't know. I just don't have the same high expectations as them, even though they have beaten us this season. I can't admit that. But when it comes down to locking in for a series, I don't know if Devin Booker has, this could bite me back. I don't know if Devin Booker has like a average 37 plus points per game to win out a series in advance.
Well, when Devin Booker wins Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 40 points and 20 rebounds a game, 10 assists, we will revisit this video. But for now, let us know in the comment section below how you feel about the Phoenix Suns. Are you super down on them? Like
The only way
Omar?
Devin Booker wins MVP is not on the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. Are you more in the middle of the ground like Earl, or are you higher on them like me? Let us know, and as always, keep an eye out for our other content here on the BTB Show YouTube channel, as well as on our TikTok page. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, watching the show each and every week. Omar, Earl, I'm Max. We're signing off. Have a good day, everybody. Adios.